Welcome to Raising Wisdom, where we embark on a transformative journey of enlightenment, introspection, and self-discovery. Here, we don't just talk about life's challenges, we embrace them as opportunities to grow, evolve, and unlock the true potential within. I'm your girl, Niko Sicari, the Mad Alchemist and your Zen Journey Coach, here to provide tools to help you nurture, align, and evolve. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's elevate together. Welcome back to Raising Wisdom, where wisdom is free. It is here where we embark on a journey of enlightenment and introspection. Together, we will navigate the complexities of life, seeking the elusive wisdom that enriches our minds and souls. So get ready to elevate your understanding, embrace life's challenges, and unlock the true potential of your being. High vibrations. I'm your girl, Niko Sicari, the Mad Alchemist and your Zen Journey Coach. What's going on? How are you doing? I hope all is well. I miss you guys so much. I just want to thank you. Excuse my voice. I'm getting over this little bug. I had the cooties. Compliments of my munchkin. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. All of you who are sticking with me, all of you guys who have stuck with me and have been encouraging and supportive. I'm very grateful. I really truly am. And I see you and I appreciate you. Shout out to you, okay? Because let me tell you, the things that we're going to be discussing in season 4, my darlings, you're going to get it all. You're going to get it all. So I've missed you so much. Thank you for coming back out to vibe with me. As you enter this space, may you be met with abundance that flows without resistance, joy that rises without permission, clarity that cuts through every illusion, and divine light that walks beside you in every step of your journey. May your path be open. May your spirit be grounded. May your mind be clear. May your heart be protected. And may everything aligned with your highest good find you with ease, grace, and perfect timing. Ashe? Okay, let's go. So, there's so many things that I want to talk to you about. Last year, before we continue to begin, Happy Black History Month, beloved. Okay? Yes, your melanin, your gorgeousness. Yes, I'm so excited that we get to come together for a little short 28 days of just cultural love, just genuine love for each other, connection, and just the ability to, most of us, be in sync. 2025 took us all through a roller coaster, not so much for those of us who have been paying attention, but for a lot of the world, including our community. However, there are more of us now, and what I mean by that is those who are awakened than there was before. And that is something that I'm grateful for. So out there, continue to raise your vibrations. You guys keep on doing the work. You're doing an amazing job. I follow so many people who are just really telling the truth and doing the work and regurgitating everything that has been learned. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing here. Okay? Because boy, do I have a lot to share with you. Okay. So, what's been going on in my world? Listen, I'm doing great. Last year was a doozy. I've been enjoying being a mother to Levi. Oh my goodness. It's taught me so many things, because being a mother at this age, for us millennials, 86 baby, being a mother at this age with like a toddler, totally different, especially if you have older kids, right? It's a whole nother ball game. You're not in survival mode, more stable with life and just learning yourself and whatnot. It's been amazing. My older sons have left the nest, so I'm like kind of an empty nester ish. I don't know how you describe that. Y'all let me know in the comments if you have that same type of dynamic where your older kids are not in the home anymore, but you still have a little young munchkin who's just, I don't know, it's totally different. Totally different, but I love it. Way more chill. Because my nervous system is just, my nervous system is definitely not in the fight or flight mode that it was in previously for so many years, right? And that's most important. We're going to be talking a lot about nervous system regulation, and I'm really excited about it because you're going to be attuned to a few things that you may not have known before. 444 consciousness. What is this about? For you guys who've been sticking with me for quite some time, you know that 444, I'm all about it. And the number 9 and 1111. I mean, as for a lot of us, what's your favorite angel numbers? I like having that spiritual tool for consistency, for confirmation, for signs, and it's been a blast. I still get them all the time. I'm sure it's been amplified, not just for myself, but for you too. Okay? Because the veil is thin. It's real thin. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people think like the veil is completely lifted, but it's not completely lifted yet. Not yet. It's on the way though. It's on the way. It's transparent. You feel me? So 444 consciousness isn't about becoming more, okay? It's about returning. We've talked about that, returning to water, returning home. It's about returning to balance, to truth, to what's already within. So 444 is the frequency of foundation. You feel me? The building of what life once fractured. We are learning how to regulate our nervous system and our spirits, right? It's very important, especially while it's being done simultaneously. How to ground our sensitivity without dimming it, and how to teach from the wound and live from the wisdom. Very important, because we don't want to be wounded healers out here. Is that what they call it? Right? Y'all know a few of them? Anyway, this is your initiation into 444 consciousness, where vibration becomes vocabulary, alchemy becomes application, and remembrance becomes mastery. You remember those were my words last year. Do you remember what yours were? Mastery and reciprocity was mine. Let me know in the comments if you fulfilled your word and accomplished meeting the goals that you had for that word, okay? This is the season of embodied mastery, where spiritual insight meets self-discipline, where softness becomes strategy, and where we finally stop running from the mirror. Man. So many episodes we've talked about checking yourself in the mirror, shadow work, things of that nature, but does it ever stop? Does it ever stop? I don't think so. I don't think it does. We're not escaping the human experience, right? However, we're engineering it differently through nervous system repair, ritual intelligence, and quantum responsibility. We are the experiment and the evidence. Proof that healing is a technology of the soul. So, in saying all of that, welcome to the Mad Alchemist era of raising wisdom. I'm going to bring you into my world a little bit deeper, okay? The season of 444 consciousness, where spirit becomes your system. Every time I'm away from you guys for a long extended period of time, there has been amazing transformations. We are entering a conversation I've waited years to articulate. I'm so for real. This is dead ass. This is serious. Lock in. Navigating between being highly spiritual and neurodivergent. That is what we're talking about. Being highly spiritual is one thing. Being neurodivergent is another. But when you're both, blink twice. Blink twice if you with me. Baby, it's a whole different dimension, a whole different assignment, and a whole different responsibility. So this episode isn't about labels or diagnosis, all right? It's about lived reality. And we're going to connect together with that. What it feels like when your spirit, your nervous system, and your intuition don't just pick up vibes anymore. They absorb entire atmospheres. Some of us came here with a sensitivity that is not a flaw. It's our gift, a beautiful gift, our inheritance, our spiritual technology. Now, being highly spiritual while navigating neurodivergence is a sacred paradox, a dance between sensitivity and strength. Let me explain. It's not about fixing what makes you different, it's about understanding the architecture of your awareness. So, when your nervous system feels everything, it's easy to confuse your sensitivity for weakness, but it's actually just your compass. What we didn't have words for before is something Carl Jung articulated beautifully. Let me inspire you. The deeper your sensitivity, the more alone you feel until you integrate what that sensitivity is for. Do you feel me? All right, lock in. Are you guys familiar with Carl Jung? Have you came across any of those lectures? Because if not, I definitely implore you, I beg of you to make that a part of something that you become educated in. You will learn so much. You will learn so much. Jung understood that heightened perception can isolate you before it initiates you. Before it becomes sacred, it can feel like exile. Before it becomes wisdom, it can feel like overwhelm. Because seeing more than the room sees, feeling more than people admit, and noticing patterns others ignore can make you feel like you're living slightly ahead of the moment. And that is isolating. Until you learn it is a gift, and a beautiful gift, a calling, a spiritual mechanism of insight. You feel me? Are you with me? Let's continue. Okay, so what does it even mean to be highly spiritual, right? Ain't nobody trying to be on no high horse. To be highly spiritual means that you are attuned to energy as much as emotion. You're receptive to intuition as much as logic. You're guided by inner knowing instead of outer noise. And aware of synchronicities, signs, dreams, and symbolic messages. If you have, if you guys have the Ultimate Planner 2026, there's a dream log in there, and it also speaks of notating your the signs, the dreams, the symbolic messages, so you can keep up with that, even with the synchronicities as well, because sometimes the synchronicities don't come about in the same patterns as they have before. There has been some type of switch, some type of shift that needs to be paid attention to when those things happen, right? You are also able to sense the unseen currents beneath everyday life. Highly spiritual people don't just think, they feel, they perceive, they interpret, they read the energetic subtext of life without trying, right? If that is you, if you can relate to that, drop a heart, drop a white heart for me, because you guys know how I get down. High vibrations always. Now, as we discuss that, we need to speak about what being neurodivergent is, so you can get the correct information. Okay, so what does it mean to be neurodivergent? Let's break this down, right? Neurodivergence is a different internal wiring involving a brain that processes sensation, emotion, and pattern at a unique frequency. It's a system that feels deeply, notices quickly, and reacts honestly with a mind that does not follow the standard emotion or cognitive rhythms. And the gag is, it's not a disorder, it's a difference in design. That's right. It is often accompanied with heightened intuition, rapid pattern recognition. It's so funny that when I was serving in the Navy, right, I was noticed for my extreme attention to detail. Go figure. But it also comes with emotional intensity, sensory sensitivity, unconventional problem solving, and deep empathy or deep internal detachment when overwhelmed, right? I for sure am a crybaby. I feel everything. I've come across a lot of individuals that can relate to that. My son, actually, my oldest, he is an empath to the fullest. He's talking about getting into psychology. I told him, my love, you feel everything. So he's thinking about it. He would make a great therapist for sure. But I'm not sure if he's going to come back and tell me all their business. Just to get it off. So we might just be exploring architecture. Let it be known these are features, not flaws. And now this is where everything comes full circle, where spirituality and neurodivergence intersect. Anyway, so where spirituality and neurodivergence intersect is when someone is both highly spiritual and neurodivergent. Their sensitivity becomes multidimensional, right? Let's get into the fun stuff, metaphysics for you. They feel energies before words. They sense intentions before actions. They experience emotions in layers, not lines. They see patterns that others walk past, and they know things they can't explain yet. They receive messages through intuition, somatic signals, dreams, and symbolic perception. Are you guys feeling me here? Because I don't want to be talking rocket science. I'm just talking metaphysics. I'm talking about the amazing abilities that come with being highly spiritual and neurodivergent, which some people would think is a crutch. But it's not. It's a superpower. We're collecting stones, okay? We collecting gems. The intersection is powerful, but also misunderstood because the traits that made us hard to understand are the same traits that make us excellent interpreters of energy, excellent alchemists of emotion, and excellent vessels for intuitive clarity. You know, before I ever had a name for what I was feeling, before I could verbalize it and put language to it, my neurodivergence existed in my life like an unseen label, a quiet box people put me in because they didn't know how to understand me. And I know so many of you listening right now have lived this too. I would say that it's unfortunate, but I'm also grateful because I chose this. I chose this contract, and I'm going to live it out to the fullest. So before we had language for our sensitivity, before we understood the way our minds absorb emotion, vibration, and energy, we were called everything except what we actually were. And that is going to stop today, now, and forever. Yup, I said it and I meant it. Because this is where it gets deep. Trigger warning. We were too dramatic. We were doing too much. We were overreacting. We were too sensitive, weird, aloof, hard to read, right? People treated our internal knowing as if it were a flaw when in reality it was a frequency system the world didn't recognize and we weren't particularly attuned to tap into at the moment. Although aware that something was just a little different, right? Seeing how others would respond or react around you, especially for me, I can talk for myself. It was a little off. I didn't relate. You know, I was quiet for a very long time. I don't remember talking much, although I don't remember 40% of my life. We'll get into that later. That's another episode. And I say we because I'm not separate from you. I lived it too. For years, I felt everything in high definition, 10 seconds before the room did. Intentions people tried to hide, emotions people refused to name, energy people pretended that wasn't there. Because how do you explain that? But when you don't know what to call it, when you don't have the language for your own design, it becomes easy to believe the world's narrative about you. So many of us were taught to suppress the exact traits that spirit placed in us on purpose. Our emotional intensity wasn't instability, it was early activation. Our overthinking wasn't worry, it was pattern recognition. Our shutdowns weren't weakness, they were energetic overloads. Hello. Well, heaven, yes, let's say that. Our sensitivity wasn't fragility, it was prophecy in motion. And I want you to hear me clearly. What they teased in you was the early evidence of your spiritual blueprint. What others could not understand in you was the very thing that spirit would later define as your superpower. Okay, you were set apart with these things that you didn't have language for a reason. And I can almost bet those reasons are serving you right now. And as it is serving you, it's serving others. And that right there is a plethora of abundance. It's timeless. Yeah. This is why I am the mad alchemist, because my mind and yours was never built for the mundane, okay? For the matrix, if you will. It was built to transmute, to decode, to hijack, to perceive, to transform energy into clarity and experience into wisdom. And so today I invite you, yes, you listening, tribe, to take a moment and reclaim that part of yourself. All right? Let that be the definition moving forward. If you are ever doubting yourself, I hope, I pray that this message finds you well. The part that always felt indifferent, the part that sensed more than you could explain, the part that was misunderstood, mislabeled, mocked, and dismissed, that was in dysfunction in you, okay? That was design. The dysfunction were from the others that placed all of those negative feelings upon you, as if that was supposed to be the dressing for your life, and to narrate who you are as a person, knowing in your heart exactly who you are. And if you weren't all the way there yet to know exactly who you are, I'm sure it's catching up. It's all by design. Being highly spiritual and neurodivergent means you don't just feel life, you read it. You don't just react to it, you interpret it. You don't just sense energy, you translate it. You don't just heal, you alchemize. All right? Turning those frowns right on upside down. Nobody's going to know what you're going through, because you're not going to look like the struggles that are, upon you, right? Because we exude light, righteousness, that silver lining, having an optimistic mind. One of my pet peeves is somebody that's just pessimistic, just Eeyore all day. It's like so many things are happening and going on, but life is how you go through the fire. Life is how you perceive it. The perception that you have about the things that don't necessarily work out. More than likely, that was your protection. Your neurodivergence, your sensitivity, your emotional depth, your pattern seeing mind, it is not your downfall, and it never will be. It is your instrument. All right. So use it wisely. The sacred technology encoded into your spirit long before you had words for it. All right. Some of us are very ancient. Some of us are very new. And as we step into season 4, this is the journey we're taking together. You, me, the whole Raising Wisdom family, and all that want to join on the ride. The journey, I told y'all my voice. I've been doing the detox for the 90-day detox. If y'all been paying attention and stuff, I'm on day, 17. I've been drinking nothing but herbs and water. That's it. No wine. No shots of tequila happening. I mean, I'm an herbalist, so of course I'm always taking some herbs, but I definitely want to make sure that my system is clear, because the things that are forming inside of me need space to breathe without any type of compression, if you will. The journey of transforming the misunderstood parts of ourselves into the most powerful aspects of our spiritual mastery is what we are going to be diving into every single week. You and I, me and you, okay, boo? We locked in, twin. I can't say 365 because we in February. We kind of deep in it. Are we? No, I mean, Anyway, this is the intersection where the misunderstood become the initiated, period. Where the sensitive becomes seers, always. Where the overwhelmed becomes the oracles. And where the isolated become the illuminated. We are family, and that is the foundation for season 4. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to talk more about Carl Jung. I'm going to talk more about Carl Jung. So he has something called reflection integration. So shout out to Carl Jung, may the Most High rest his soul. Once He once wrote about participation mystique. So let me explain this. When the intuitive mind becomes so attuned that it absorbs the unconscious atmosphere around it, for those of us who feel deeply, this isn't delusion, it's discernment. Okay, so these are his words. We see what others ignore, feel what others repress, and sense the truth behind performance. But this sight can isolate us because when you mirror what others don't face, they may attack the reflection instead of the revelation. You become the mirror society can't bear to look into. Okay? All right? Are we talking jazz? Are we talking rock and roll? Are you with me? Put a heart in the chat box. Well, not the chat box. Well, I guess wherever it show up as. Okay? That's the quiet cost of clear sight. It's not psychosis, it's perception. You're not too much, you're just tuned differently. And while the world calls it hypersensitivity, spirit calls it a higher definition for seeing. Boom. But okay, so when we talk about being spiritual and neurodivergent, okay, we're talking about walking between worlds, decoding emotions, translating energy, managing both the outer noise and the inner storm. That's alchemy. That's true alchemy. We are the translators of vibration. You remember when we were collectively, I get excited. When we were collectively talking, hey, we got to raise the vibration, we got to raise the frequency, and look where we are now. Okay, we doing the work, and I'm so proud of each and every one of us. Give yourself some love. All right. Where would the world be without us? They owe us conspiracy theories an apology, don't you think? A few awards, maybe. Anyway, the ones who can hear the hum beneath the chaos, that is us. That is you. All right. If you didn't recognize it, that's what that's called. Our work isn't to numb it, it's to learn how to regulate it. That's why nervous system care is spiritual hygiene. And boundaries are sacred rituals of protection. All right? Period. Because when we hold space for everyone else's energy, we must also return the energy back home to our own. All right? Gotta release what doesn't belong to us. Because that's dangerous. Okay? Because here's the truth. Being highly spiritual and neurodivergent means you don't just think differently. You feel differently. You carry things in your body. Are y'all speaking to y'all water? I hope so. Don't forget to do that. Just a gentle reminder. So yeah, the Ultimate Planner 2026, the Mad Alchemist edition, and I wrote that for light beings like me who need room for intuition and routines. You remember through your waters. That is the reason why I wrote, or one of the reasons why I wrote Return to Water, to help women like me and like you, like us, understand the emotional, intuitive, ancestral layers we've been carrying in silence. Okay? And because mastery requires structure, not restriction, but sacred structure, I created the Ultimate Planner 2026 Mad Alchemist Edition. It's so cool, you guys. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, here it goes. Who's a fan of steampunk? Because I am. Love it, love it, love it. And you will too. So make sure you get that as soon as possible. And that's because if you ain't got it yet, you're not too late. You're right on time. Because spring is near, my darling. For neurodivergent priestess minds that need rhythm, not rules. It's just not becoming. It's not just a basic planner. It's a lab. A place to alchemize your year. Use my voice, y'all. I'm a boy mom, so y'all don't judge me. I be drinking stuff out the jug. But I got it from Sam's. It's some pomegranate juice. Fresh pomegranate juice. I told y'all, it's nothing but fruits and herbs that's going in this body. Goodness gracious. Peace to the gods. I'll be right back.
This is for the woman who shows up for everyone, but doesn't remember the last time she was held. Return to Water isn't just a workbook journal, it's a sanctuary, a sacred space to grieve, release, and begin again. Inside, you'll find rituals, reflections, and real healing, not just inspiration, integration. And for those who want to go deeper, the Return to Water Oracle deck is an exclusive visual companion. Come home to yourself. The water is waiting. High vibrations.
This is not just a planner. You'll never go back to basic planning again. This is your rhythm keeper, a sacred tool designed for the alchemist, the mystic, the dreamer. Inside, a fairy-coded flow, a vision board that breathes, a dream journal that listens, a week that aligns, a 369 manifestation chamber, a sacred traveler itinerary, apothecary, the philosopher's calendar, tracking your evolution, not just your time, and so much more. This isn't about managing time, it's about reclaiming rhythm. Ultimate Planner 2026, Mad Alchemist Edition, available now. Your year is waiting. Now, before we close out today, I want to speak on something that every highly spiritual, neurodivergent being must understand if you're going to thrive in your gifts. Your nervous system. I know we're hearing a lot about the nervous system, okay? Your nervous system is the foundation of your spiritual perception. This is what I'm talking about. As we raise these vibrations, as we hold these conversations, it's like an algorithm. You know, eventually people are going to catch up if they want to not be lost in this vibration that we have going on right now. Most of the multi-dimensional, where certain things have to break open in order for new things to grow. And that's where we are. We talked about that. I forgot what episode that was, but when we talked about the golden age and Kali Yuga, period. So if your nervous system is overloaded, your intuition becomes harder to hear, your emotions become harder to regulate, your sensitivity becomes harder to carry. And people like us, people who feel energy the way others feel temperature, we cannot operate like everyone else. And this is not a weakness, all right? We're not doing that. This is divine design. Gorgeous, you. So, our nervous systems are built like open channels, constantly reading the room, the energy, the emotions, the intentions, the frequency, all of that, all right, that you just be picking up like a bad smell in the heat, in the summertime, just lingering. And because of that, protection is not optional. It's not optional. It's maintenance. It's self-respect. It's spiritual hygiene. And I take that very seriously, because those who you see monitoring spirits, those who you cannot see, envious spirits, those that are right in your face, everybody's intentions aren't well. We always talk about that too, all right? So make sure that you're protecting yourself so you know the difference. And if you can't see it for any reason, you'll still be protected, so your ancestors will. All right? And to add to that, to code reality at a higher resolution, to read patterns that others skip over, to feel the frequencies underneath the conversation, to detect what is unsaid, to process the world with more vividness, more layers, more depth. All right? This is not a flaw, baby. This is a superpower, but like any other superpower, it must be managed with compassion. Without that, you're unhinged. I've been down that road, and it was good that I wasn't around others, but the rage that I felt had to be maintained and regulated. I had to let it go through me so I can understand where it even started from. I mean, a whole breakdown of the origin of all of these emotions, all of these things that was rising up within me that came from past traumas. Like, is the shadow work ever finished? Okay. Let me know if you agree with me in the comments, because sometimes it gets a little ratchet. But that's what the compassion is for. Compassion for your sensitivity, compassion for your pace, compassion for your nervous system, compassion for the version of you that's just trying your best inside conditions most people will never understand. And you have to get real with that too. You have to be okay with that. Most people will never understand. We're here. You clicked on this for a reason because you vibrate with the situation. You can relate, okay? It impacts your life because it is you. However, that doesn't apply for many, all right? And you have to be okay with not being understood. That's all right. And please keep this close as you walk forward from this episode. Use your gifts for clarity, not criticism, because we don't play like that. Use your perception for protection, not paranoia. Use your sensitivity for connection, not comparison. We ain't doing that. Use your power for healing, starting with yourself, because the more compassion you extend inward, the more mastery you gain outward. And that is the heart of being both highly spiritual and neurodivergent. It's not easy. It is not easy, but it is sacred. We know this, and you are doing better than you think. If this episode found you, if your spirit said, finally, someone sees me, if you've always felt misunderstood but not misaligned, then this season is for you. Season 4 is where we enter 444 consciousness, stability, clarity, mastery, lineage work, and rising into your priesthood. Don't that feel good? Take a breath. Okay, regulate your nervous system, create space for who you're becoming. And for the next episode, we're going to be getting into the lot of the eldest daughters. So make sure that you stay tuned. In a world where gossip rules, I'm so grateful that you returned to shine the gems on your crown here on Raising Wisdom, where wisdom is free. Don't forget to grab your Ultimate Planner 2026 Mad Alchemist Edition. I love y'all down bad. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And you know where to find me in case you need any further assistance. We're in for a ride this season, and I'm so happy that you've come to join me. See you soon. Peace.